Howdy. There's 7 languages what you can choose of to read this. Väinön, the largest earthquake in the history of Finland. Did you know that the largest earthquake in the history of Finland occurred near Lake Lappajärvi? Probably not. The earthquake shook one ordinary Saturday night on February 17th in 1979 at 7.3.1 or 7.31. The earthquake received a memorial stone in 1992, which is located at Alajärvi in the yard of Luomoaho nuorisoseuratalo. Väinön name comes from a name day which is celebrated by Väinö on the day of the quake. Tip: take your friend to the memorial stone and read the story together. Link to the map at the end of the post. The earthquake was 3.8 degrees on Richter scale, and its effects were noticeable in a radius of about 100 kilometers. 3.8. How many memorial stones of quakes worldwide would have been created for every 3.8 Richter scale quake? Thousands. Anyway, we have one in Finland. The earthquake caused minor damage to the buildings. Less than 10 minutes later, there was another quite strong earthquake for Finnish conditions. 2.6 on the Richter scale. It was noticeable within a radius of about 70 kilometers, according to geologist Teemu Öhman. Finland is a geologically and seismically stable area. Earthquakes are very weak compared to other places in the world. Nevertheless, about 15 to 30 earthquakes occur here annually. Most of them can only be detected by measuring devices. The main cause of the quakes in Finland is the movement of continental plates, Eurasian and North American. Preliminary analysis showed that the center of the quake was exactly where the memorial stone is located nowadays, at a depth of about 15 kilometers, and the next quake 3 kilometers to the southeast. However, in 1986, the measurements were even more precise and showed the earthquake points located at the Pokela and Katajalahti site, based on the latest survey of 2002. The Väinön earthquake occurred at a depth of 10 to 9 kilometers between Lakaniemi and Pyhälahti in Vimpel. Although the exact position cannot be given, it is certain that the Väinön earthquake occurred between Vimpeli and Alajärvi. So, we have this. This part of the text. Preliminary analysis showed that the center is exactly where it is. And then it's certain that it's between Vimpeli and Alajärvi. This is not too coherent, in a way. Particularly interesting is the fact that the Väinön occurred inside the crater's rim, in the so-called terrace zone. It was mentioned for the first time in 2003 in Andreas Abel's work. Terrace zone on the inner rim of impact crater areas, where it takes long time for the parent rock to recover. How do rocks recover? I've never seen a rock recover. If anybody has seen or does know where to get footage of a rock recovering, I'm very interested to see it. On the other hand, the period of 76 million years, Lappajärvi age, is very short compared to Finland's geological history, which is 3,000 million years long. The meteorite impact during the birth of Lake Lapajärvi was 5 kilometers deep, and cracks caused by the impact are noticeable at a depth of at least 10 kilometers. It therefore is likely that the primary reason for Väinönvaarina earthquake to occur was the movement of the rock blocks at the rim of the crater as they still try to achieve their previous state. Yeah, I've been thinking about this, but what does that mean? Previous state? 7 other earthquakes took place in or near Lapajärvi crater. 2 of them occurred in the summer of 2017. 2 other earthquakes have been recorded inside the crater's rim since 1970. It's not a coincidence. The asteroid collision 78 million years ago still has impact on the subsoil of Lake Lapajärvi and its surroundings. It is possible that a similar earthquake will take place here soon. That's the memorial stone. That's obviously the earthquake recordings. Full staggering 3.8. And I just googled earthquake history. Finnish earthquake history. This was the first thing which came up. Kraterjärvi Geopark. That's from the same page, obviously. Geological sites of the crater lake. The crater lake georoute introduces geological sites around Lapajärvi. The list does not include whole Evijärvi, Soini, and Ähteri. There will also be more sites around Alajärvi, Lapajärvi, and Vimpeli. Current georoute is designed by PhD Teemu Öhman in cooperation with Geological Survey of Finland, which focuses on the Europe's largest crater lake, Lapajärvi. The route presents a wide range of terrain and bedrock geology, as well a bit of history. And I was thinking that when I was reading this, that somehow this Teemu Öhman sounded in a way familiar. And I checked and I figured out that yes, I had some correspondence with him. Let me share you a part of what he wrote to me. Publishing some research, that's Google translated, so publishing some research in a peer-reviewed publication series does not make it valid or even true. I don't know about your background or education, but I recommend to anyone, for example, to study geology, astronomy, and natural sciences in general, and to familiarize yourself with the scientific method doing science in general. Teemu Öhman. Teemu Öhman, in cooperation with Geological Survey of Finland. This is the webpage of the Geological Survey of Finland, GTK. GTK. Solutions to accelerate the transition to sustainable and carbon-neutral world. GTK's Alan Bischoff believes that research on deep geothermal energy deserves a new endeavor. Bedrock thermal conductivity research bolstered with a geoenergy trailer at the ATDS heat pulse method. Can we help? Geological Survey of Finland. GTK. GTK. That's one of the 8 pieces I sent them, which I found on the Plasma Rock site. I sent them my pieces before I wrote the paper. And it took so long, more than 8 months, to get the results back from them. And obviously, they managed to mix them up. Yeah, I used a black pen to mark them. They used the blue one. And they had to use it because the pieces got mixed up. And 4 pieces of those 8 got tested. And many interesting things like uranium. I assume LOD means low on data. In other words, no data. We don't tell you. And here from the timeline you can see it took some 45 minutes to make this. I had to wait 8 months or even more. And I know the person who made this was also very involved once in making a presentation about Lappajärvi, the Europe's biggest impact crater. Which I don't think is an impact crater of a meteorite at all. Maybe that's one of the reasons they don't talk to me anymore. These are the results I got. This is what I did with them. Just in order to know what's going on. Manganese, potassium, very interesting stuff. And here it says, sample number 7. But there is no mark here on this page. But you will find the mark, it's here. That's the only mark. That's the only thing I know. That the lowest row of these 4 is number 7. But I have no idea what these are. Which number of the samples? Why don't we have any data? I don't think that there is nothing of them. Let me show you why I think there is something not matching up. Because of gold. I'm pretty sure there is gold in those. Pretty sure. And the reason why I talk about that, once again, is not only that this is number 7. And here they say, it would be an interesting part if there would be a bigger piece. Yes, I have a bigger piece. I have the rest of the whole stone. I didn't send you the whole stones. And I set them. Yeah, I can send you the rest. If you tell me what you find. Because there were other pieces. For example, this stone. This shouldn't be found in Finland, especially not in eastern Finland. But I found it here, on the shore, at the plasma rock site. And it would be really cool if I would know more than just this one line of the results. Maybe this is one of the others. I don't know. This is how it looks on a bad picture. Yeah, I found it interesting. That's why I sent it to them. But, aber, it's just like it got stuck, the whole thing. They don't talk, they don't do anything. Google Earth. Onkalo. Warehouse in Eurajoki. Warehouse. The Onkalo spent nuclear fuel repository is a deep geological repository for the final disposal of spent nuclear fuel. It is near the Olkiluoto nuclear power plant in the municipality of Eurajoki on the west coast of Finland. I think that's the entrance. And what I also find interesting, there is this pond or whatever. There is some water flowing around there. Maybe that's some washing machine for trucks or something. Might be, I don't know. Another thing I want to point out is the rather white stuff all those facilities are built on. It's rather white, brownish. Doesn't seem to be like this granite stuff and this all other things we have. Here we have Olkiluoto. A Finnish-French version of Fukushima. And I just want to point out that here is this deep earth facility. Here are the power plants. There are more than one. And this is all water. It's surrounded by water. At least on 3 sides. And we talked earlier about this crater lake, which is not a crater lake. Here, Lake Japajärvi, Kärnäsaari, where we got Kärnätite. You have to zoom in a little bit. I think that's the nuclear facility. Yes. Let me show you still one interesting place. Someroja Sacrifice Spring. There's a spring in the forest, which is very clear. Even though we don't have really pictures of it now. But It is a tourist attraction. People know about this. Beside it, we have mining operation. Yeah, maybe I suffer from pareidolia, but I would say that's rather white. And it's just beside the spring. So I talked again very long. Let me show you still one pictures and then I'll leave you alone. I just wanted to know, is there any quake activity or like anything from significance near our, what did they call it? Nuclear necropolis? World nuclear news. Construction of test disposal tunnel. And that's a tunnel from inside Onkalo. Onkalo, which is an unnamed road. The distance from this well, Sacrifice Spring, with its attached white feature, is 123 kilometers. That's Onkalo. That's the spring. And maybe where we have the spring, there's also something interesting geologically. The reason why I took the map on the right is I thought maybe there is even some uranium here, where we have the nuclear power plant, or maybe here. I think this green stuff might be this white stuff. But where I am, there is some uranium. There's a U. There's a U here. They obviously got cut off this other part of the map, where it says what's the green stuff. So the green seems to be base metals, nickel in this case. Yeah, that's from my paper. Yeah, and I've been also writing something a little bit about craters in Finland. There are 12 impact craters found in Finland, and 40 meteorites have been recovered in Finland, from which the biggest is 16 kilograms. A good example is Lake Lappajärvi. You can read this. You can check this paper out. You can check out this other side from Teemu Öhman. Give him some thumbs up. He's doing hard work, teaching people about science and geology. Yeah, I'm not trying to teach. I just try to show evidence and try to make people think for their own with stuff I gathered together and how other people see it. Upper crater approximately 300 kilometers, lower crater 2.5 meters. There are similarities. But anyway, nuclear facilities, wells, quakes, and all kinds of stuff. Thanks. Bye.